Hello and welcome back. I cannot stand doing YouTube intros. I don't know what it is. I find it very unnatural. I find it like I'm not myself, and I need to come up with like another solution because I hate this whole like welcome back to my channel. So yeah, I've been doing YouTube for quite a while and I just need to come up with a solution because it's been this long and I still can't do it properly. So I'm just like an awkward intro person. Anyway, I won't say welcome back. I'll say hi to anyone new who's here, and to my people who've been following me for quite a while, then thank you for returning if you're back again. I am making this video because I recently moved from Melbourne to Thailand with my partner, and I know people find that interesting. I have been living out of my own country for over 10 years now, so it's very normal for me to kind of move around and be a bit spontaneous because that is in my character as well. But I know for some of you it is not normal to hop on planes and move. So I wanted to give you a bit of an insight as to why we left Australia, why we're in Thailand, and a bit of a backstory because yeah, it's pretty interesting. So let's get into it. So a tiny backstory without going into massive detail, but I know some of you who have watched me from the very beginning, then you will know that I was Emirates cabin crew for 7 years, and I left Emirates to be with my boyfriend Roberto in Australia. We fell in love in Bali. Massive story, but if you were interested in all of this, why I quit Emirates and why I moved to Australia, how I fell in love, all this kind of stuff, then I have videos linked on that so you can watch it. But for this video we'll keep it really short on that point. But I moved to Melbourne in 2019 without much of a plan, just the fact of I followed my boyfriend there because that's where he was. He's Italian, but he lived in Melbourne for like over 5 years, so that's just where I took myself. I took a leap of faith for love and packed my bags and moved there. So that was in 2019. Excuse me. And then in 2021, just gone, the November just gone, we decided to leave Australia. But before we get into that, we went through ups and downs, obviously the big P word being the bigger reason behind it, but I was doing jobs. The transition from Emirates into normal life, I swear, is so challenging that people don't talk about, and I don't think it's just Emirates. I think Emirates definitely harder than some airlines because you're also living in Dubai, which is a country that's not yours for the majority of people, and the transition into normal real life is tough. And not enough people talk about this, so I'll dedicate a whole video to that. But for today's video, it was causing a lot of up and down emotions for me. So our relationship really got tested with the pandemic and everything going on. That also tested everything in our lives, and I was doing jobs that I wasn't even liking. I was losing jobs that I wasn't even liking due to all the situation going on. So I was really down and I was really struggling, to be completely honest, and that's why I really struggled to make YouTube videos, because although I want to show my real self and like how I am, and even if I'm not in the best mood and I'm not like, you know, on my top form, let's say, emotionally, I thought like I don't want to make other people feel miserable or down because I'm feeling that way. And I think I do owe you to be honest, but I don't want to drag you down, you know, negative emotion flying around. So I really struggled to sit in front of the camera like I'm doing now. I overthought everything. I was just really losing my confidence. I just felt like I was really trapped, and without sounding ungrateful, because I know a lot of people would love to live in Australia, and we did get that opportunity, which I'm very grateful for, but it was a struggle. It was not easy whatsoever. And yeah, so towards the end of our journey in Australia, I was seeking something else. I knew in my soul that it wasn't the place for me. It was too far away from home. And although it offers amazing things, I realized that I actually didn't see my long-term life there. And I shared this with Roberto, and he also kind of agreed that we need to be closer to home. So we decided to quit our jobs, sell all of our things, and literally leave with 2 suitcases back to Europe. We left it to last minute to sell all of our stuff. We decided that we're gonna live more lighter. Does that make sense? More lighter. I think that's really bad English. But we decided to sell most of our belongings because we didn't know where we were gonna go. We didn't have a plan. And when I say we didn't have a plan, we did not have a plan. We didn't know which country we were going to actually live. We just knew that we needed to spend time with our families in Europe. So we sold most of our stuff. We jumped on a plane. Of course, it wasn't just simply jumping on a plane. We had to jump through so many hoops to leave Australia, and it was a bit of a very stressful situation. Not a bit, it was very stressful for us to go through that. But we jumped on a plane, we separated. So Roberto went to Sicily, where he's from, and I went to the UK because we had spent so long away from home, from our families. I hadn't seen my family in over 3 years. Roberto hadn't seen his family in 3 years, and we hadn't spent Christmases with our families. So I decided, and we hadn't met each other's families. So I decided I didn't want to be selfish, taking him away from his family to spend it with mine on Christmas, and he didn't want to do the same for me. So the only logical thing to do was to separate and, you know, be away from each other, but be with our families and have that quality time that we really needed. So I went to London first, and when I was landing into London, it was such a relief after everything that was happening in Australia. I don't know if you follow what was happening, and I don't want to go into it in massive details, but it was very stressful. So when I was landing into London, I was literally looking out the window. It was, I think it was afternoon, and being a flight attendant, you know, previously, landing and takeoff and all that kind of stuff doesn't really affect me at all. Like, it's just like another one. But as I was landing, I started to cry because I just felt, and I could cry now because it was such a relief. Like, oh my God, why am I crying? Why am I crying? It was just such a relief landing onto my own soil, and it was a very freeing feeling after all of the stuff that happened to us in Australia. I just felt like, oh, why am I losing it? This was not in the plan for this video. It was not supposed to be an emotional video, but I really, like, the captain came on the tannoy, and he just said, like, you know, welcome to London, Heathrow, or wherever we landed. I landed, you know, and he was just saying, like, the weather and the time, and I was like, I'm home. Like, this is exactly what I needed. So that was very emotional, and I'd left Roberto in Dubai because he had gone to Italy. So I was emotional with that, and of course, like, coming home after so long away, it was just so good. And then I landed, of course, I went through the airport, and my family met me there, and that was, I didn't want to make this video very long, but we're already 8 minutes in. My family picked me up, and you know, it was just, oh, I can't describe the feeling. Like, it was just such a great moment of freedom and just your home country, and just hearing the accents, and I was like, oh my God, okay, I'm home. So then we went, you know, we had this amazing experience. I went home to my dad in London, first of all, my dad and my stepmom, spent some time there. Then I went to Wales and spent some time there, and it was just seriously incredible. Christmas, just amazing. Something I'd missed out on for a very long time. And then, so I spent until January there, and then in January, I think it was January or February, start of February, I flew to Sicily to meet Roberto's family because I'd never met them, and we don't speak the same language, but it was a moment and amazing. And of course I hadn't seen Roberto, and I think it was like 3 months. So maybe it was end of, anyway, 3 months we hadn't seen each other. So I was like, it was just an amazing emotional feeling again. We were like running to each other in the airport. His dad bought me a rose. It was just, oh, so cute. And he's from Palermo in Sicily, so we spent some amazing time going around Palermo, seeing the city, seeing where he grew up, where he went to school, his school friends. Just amazing. We'd never done that before. You know, we did our dating life completely the opposite. Normally it's like, you know, you get to know each other, you go on dates in your own country, and you go, you know the same people normally, but we did it completely opposite way. So I spent some time getting to know his family. We had family dinners the Italian way, which is something completely new for me, and it was just, oh, amazing. And then we went to Tuscany, Rome first. So we went to Rome. We flew from Sicily to Rome, spent some time in Rome going around. It was so romantic. It was my 30th birthday, so Roberto treated, oh, before that, before that, sorry, we flew from Sicily to London. He spent some time with my family. I introduced him to my family. It was amazing. We spent some time there, and then we went from London to Rome, because in between all of that, Roberta was applying for jobs. I work online, so I have the location freedom to be wherever I want without restriction, and Roberta is the one who works in property, in hotels, so he needed to find something that was suitable for him, that was a good job offer. And without going into massive detail, I know this video is going to be longer than what I wanted, but he was applying for jobs in Italy, in the UK, in Thailand and other countries, and he was getting job offers, which is amazing. Job offers. But I was listening to him on his interviews, and although he does interviews very well, something was just off with the job offers that were coming from Italy. I don't know what it was. It was just off. And we just weren't getting the vibe that we thought we would get. And I had my heart kind of set on Italy. I really thought we would live in Italy. I don't know why, I just love the Italian culture, and you know, he's from there, so that would make the most logical sense. But with the visas and all this stuff going on with Brexit, it was challenging for me to find a solution where both of us could really live in Italy comfortably at this point. So we decided, okay, maybe we need to look further afield, and that's when he was applying for Thailand and all this kind of stuff. Then he got a job offer in Thailand, which I knew in my soul, and you might find this like a bit woo-woo, but I just knew in my soul that as soon as he applied for this job, that we were gonna go there. I just knew it. And I don't know if you're into like spirituality and tarot card readings, but my stepmom does tarot card readings, and we did a whole session on this, and the cards that came up were so clear on, yes, this is where you're going to Phuket, this is where your next journey is going to be. So we accepted the job, he accepted the job, and we decided, okay, let's go. So we went from London to Rome, spent some time in Rome. Like I said, it was my 30th birthday, so he treated me and we went around Rome, and it was just Rome. If you haven't been there, go. It is so beautiful. The history, you feel like you're in a film, like it's just insane. It's amazing. So we spent some time there. Then we went to Tuscany, where his brother lives, and thank God we had this beautiful place to stay with his brother. Such an amazing opportunity. Tuscany is super beautiful as well, and we spent some time there. And then from Tuscany we flew, I think we went back to Rome, and then we flew from Rome to Phuket, directly to, no, not directly, we stopped off in Doha, and then from Doha we went to Phuket. Now it was at the time where the Thailand pass was still existing. We had to do a lot of paperwork, paperwork. It was a bit stressful, but it was okay. It always sounds worse than what it actually is, to be honest. Like you see, oh, you need to do this, this and this, and it's like, oh my gosh, so much to do. But it actually was fine in the end. We did everything that we had to, we got in, and now the restrictions are a lot better. Is that the right word? They're a lot less strict. You can just enter with either a vaccine certificate if you're vaccinated, and if you're not vaccinated, you just have to do a PCR test. I think it's within 48 to 72 hours. Don't quote me on that. I'll put links in the description for all of that if you want to come to Thailand. But we did all of that. We landed into Phuket, and we went to the hotel that he is working in. We got an amazing welcome. We stayed in a hotel for, I think, a month. And then we found this apartment, which I will do a video on kind of costs of apartments, and we've signed this for a year. So we've decided on an area, sorry, I have to change my, I always sit with my legs crossed like a child because I find it the most comfortable, but I've got pins and needles now. So we decided on this apartment. We chose an area that is not, I wouldn't say typical area for young people to live, but we are also not really party people. We enjoy going out and having fun, but it's not really the lifestyle that we want to live. So we chose an area that is, for me, is great because I need to be working online. I want to be working in nice little cafes that are not super expensive, and you can work with your laptop and, you know, look at the beautiful nature. So that's why we chose this one. It's not too far away from Roberta's work, and it's just a great area. It's called Bang Tao, which is between kind Kamala. So you've got Kamala, like Surin, Bang Tao, and then Laguna, which is a very famous area in Phuket to live as an expat. But I'll do a whole video on that because we can talk all day about that. And again, cost of living, apartments, finding apartments, how do you find them, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, here we are. We've signed for a year. We will I see myself staying longer in Thailand, to be completely honest. Visas are another topic that I'll talk about because I know you're gonna have questions on which visa are you on, how did you get in, which one is the best, etc, etc. I will do another video on that because I was myself looking at these videos trying to see what my options are. So yeah, I work online. I feel like I've got my spark back. Now I've put on weight, which is something I'm very conscious of. Since being like at home in Italy, I couldn't say no to Roberto's mum's cooking and it was amazing. But I put on weight, so I'm very conscious. But other than that, I feel like I've got my mojo back. I feel like I have my spark back. I feel like, I don't know how to describe it, like a weight has just been lifted off my shoulders. I feel very connected to nature. I feel I'm pretty spiritual. So I have a lot on my list that I want to do in Phuket and in Thailand in general. I would love to go and do a yoga teacher training. I would love to do a like a retreat, but I would also love to host retreats. Okay, so it decided to cut me off halfway whilst I was talking about retreats. So I would like to host retreats. I would like to develop my spirituality even more. I just feel very me when I'm in this country, and I didn't feel that when I was in Australia. I feel very connected to my soul purpose. That's the only, and I know that sounds a bit cheesy to some people, but that's the only way I can describe it. So yeah, we have made, I feel, the best decision for us right now. I think we will stay long term, you know, if the universe allows. I think we will stay long term. I just love this place. I love Thai people. I love the culture. I love the food. Oh my gosh, the food. I'm just obsessed with this place. And I don't know if I mentioned this earlier in the video, but I did travel here when I was Emirates crew. So I was doing like short layovers, like 24 hours. So I was getting to know a little bit about the country, and I always loved this place. Did I ever think I would live here? Probably not. But I did always love this place. And Roberto did travel, I think a couple of years ago. He backpacked. He was crazy. He had like a long beard, long hair, backpacking, sleeping in shipping containers, and that's a whole other story. But we both had experience with coming to Thailand and experiencing what it has to offer. And I think Phuket is, if you haven't been here, you must come here. It is so beautiful to live, to stay in the hotels. The hotels are stunning. So yeah, very happy with our decision. I could talk all day about it, but I won't because you're not here for that. You're not here for that. But I will do more videos. I just wanted to do a backstory of like what's happened. Like, you were in Melbourne, you were in Dubai, and now you're in Phuket. Like, what's going on? So I just wanted to give you a bit of a backstory towards it all before I start uploading, you know, my life in Thailand and the hotels and all the stuff that you can do and all that good stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I have talked the head off you. If you've stayed till the end, thank you so much. And follow my Instagram because that's where I keep the most, you know, up to date. I will be uploading weekly vlogs, which I have promised myself that I'm going to do. So yeah, follow me on Instagram to, you know, connect with me on a deeper level if you want to do that. If not, keep following me on here. And yeah, you can follow my journey in this beautiful country. I would show you the beautiful view from my window, but I won't because it is monsoon season at the moment and the weather is a bit crazy. Storms are like amazing here. I mean, you don't want anything bad to happen obviously, but the storms are like nothing I've ever seen. So we will do an apartment tour, we'll do all that good stuff, but in the meantime, have an amazing day, whatever time it is with you, and I will see you very soon.